Sweet baby Jesus, we're back again. Holla! The Joe Rogan Experience podcast is brought to you by the Fleshlight.
What the fuck was that?
That's just my new shit. I'm ready for a new opening. Holla!
Holla, guys. What?
Hey.
Whatever.
What's up? What's up? That's gonna be the new thing.
Yeah.
Just like that. What's up?
Hi, boys. Joe Rogan.
Just gentle. What's up? That's the new thing, Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Ruppert's here, and he's going to get down to the bottom of things.
I am.
Michael Ruppert's been...
I am.
I've heard that Fox Magic is particularly strong this type of month.
Fox Magic been working
This time of the
lately.
month.
Yeah.
Fox Magic, it's working?
Fox Magic been magicking all over the place lately.
Yeah?
And yeah. But as far as what's going on, that's what I came down here to find out. I had to talk to you to figure it out.
I don't know if I have any answers for you, sir. I have a feeling anything that will be coming out of my mouth is pure speculation.
Good.
But from someone who's completely unqualified.
Well, let's speculate all over the place. Well, there's just a ton of shit's going on.
Do you think it's possible that civilization won't collapse? Is it possible that we're just stumbling and that we'll balance out? Is that possible?
Absolutely, totally. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going through this big change. I mean, we not only did I in 2 books and the movie and everything else kind of predict all of this stuff based upon a model that said that means civilization is collapsing. So if you see these symptoms, there's a pretty good chance that's what the disease is. But now, just recently, Fukushima is so totally out of control. Reactor number 2 is so hot that any robots they send to the reactor get fried. And so they can't get into work on this melted core that's lying at the bottom. And then they've said no machines that can handle that radiation have even been designed yet. Oh, okay, that leaves reactor 2 out. Building 4 with all the
I think it's amazing that someone made nuclear reactors in the first place. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I did a joke about it in my act, but it really is fascinating that you can build something like that you can't shut off. That someone allowed them to build something like that where in some unmeasurable event where the power gets shut off and can't get back on in time, it's fucked forever.
There are 450 more reactors
That's
around.
insane.
San Onofre's just had a major breakdown.
Where's that?
That's in San Clemente on the way to San Diego.
Really?
And
they had a major something?
It's down all season. So you guys in Los Angeles are going to be having some humongous blackouts this summer.
Really?
And brownouts. Yeah. I'm surprised. See, we had that on CollapseNet, but they hide it from you in the mainstream news here. That's why CollapseNet's so good at what we do.
Whoa. So because of what's wrong with the reactor? That's the one that you see when you drive down to San Diego?
Reactor number 2 at San Onofre, right by Camp Pendleton.
It's a weird feeling to drive by and see a nuclear reactor.
Reactor 2, there was problems with the cooling pipes, and then I think they were checking another reactor. The X-rays showed some faulty piping, but now, so the reactor is offline indefinitely.
It is such a stupid fucking idea. The idea that you can make something you can never shut off, that you would do that.
Yeah.
That's so arrogant. It's so incredibly arrogant. Because if it fucks up and people are like, well, most of the time it's clean and safe, what are you banking on? If you look at the permanence of any fuck up, what a massive amount of time it takes before that area is not deadly to go near. If you look at the fuck up, we're talking about thousands of years.
Japan is dead. Japan is mortally wounded. And I've been saying so and it's clear. Japan's economy is imploding. They are now a net importer. Their debt is like 280% of GDP. And
how are they getting their power now?
Very good question. Japan has replaced.
Was that a Japanese impression, by the way?
No, I can do better one if you like.
Don't do that. No.
Okay,
So Japan was what happened?
They're running emergency diesel widely, which is diesel's a whole separate issue worldwide. But they're running diesel. They're burning now fuel oil and coal oil, which 2 grades of oil, and they're importing liquefied natural gas. Now that's where you build this $450 million floating gigantic bomb of liquefied natural gas, and you float it across. And one of those things is almost the size of an atom bomb if it goes off.
My God!
So this is energy desperation. But
so crazy.
And when you talk about diesel, don't buy diesel now. And here's why: diesel shortage all over the world. In India, they got 30,000 generators to handle blackouts at the Taj Mahal. And the city that's around there. We ran that story twice on CollapseNet. And there's so many blackouts in India and Pakistan. They're all burning diesel, and they're short of coal. I mean, it's happening all around the world right now. But diesel's in really short supply.
What are they going to do with all these nuclear power plants? They can't shut them down, right? There's no way you can't you can't shut it off.
Well, if you combine that, let me just take you a little bit further ahead to where the point of all this is going.
Okay.
Because from 4 different directions, they ain't going to shut the nuclear power plants off. They can't control what they got. Because electricity is industrial civilization. You
Right.
don't have industrial
It
civilization.
just seems so
without it.
ridiculous to put something like that in an area where it's close to humans. It's the idea that you can completely contain that insane amount of energy. It's like it's so arrogant.
Okay. Yeah. That's one prong of a fork.
Yeah.
Fukushima. Here's the
Okay.
second prong. One of the
AIDS.
No.
What happened to AIDS? AIDS just petted out. AIDS
climate
came out of the
change.
gate like Tyson. AIDS was killing people left and right, but now you hardly hear about AIDS anymore. If Japan experiences that 4th reactor meltdown, there's no way to fix it. Is there any way that they can contain what's going on?
No.
So what is the option? That just area is fucked forever.
Well, let me put it this way, and I followed Fukushima. We did very, very closely since it happened. Fukushima is beyond a Japanese problem. The only way Fukushima is even approachable, and it does risk killing all life on the planet, is as a human problem.
It risks killing all life on the planet?
Yeah. Yes.
Really?
The spent rod pool at reactor number 4 contains 20 years worth of spent fuel rods, and that building is teetering on the edge of collapse, and they can't get close because of the radiation at 2. They can't do the repairs. So once that falls, and they can't keep those rods cool, they've released like 87 times more radiation than all testing of all atomic devices thus far. I mean, that kind of radiation. And we're talking cesium, plutonium, all the really nasty stuff.
So everyone knows about this.
Everybody in governments definitely know
They
about
know
it.
about this. And what is the plan to deal with it?
They haven't designed machines strong enough to withstand the radiation at reactor 2.
So if reactor 4, that seems inevitable then. So what you're saying is civilization is done. Reactor 4, that building's going to collapse. It's going to because they can't fix it.
Barring a radical change in human consciousness.
How is that going to fix reactor 4?
Because it's not a Japanese problem. It's a human problem. And
So we get
7
all
billion
together.
people would have to drop every pretense of nationality and just work together as human beings to fix that reactor. That might stand a chance.
What a disaster it is that we haven't recognized it yet. What a disaster it is that they have how many different countries, how many hundreds of different countries, and they don't all have access to that information and have all acted together and have that the number one priority.
Every
for the human
government
race.
knows this, and this is where it gets evil and sick. This is where it gets dark.
But is it because they don't have enough money to deal with it? I mean, it's because one country doesn't want to step in and foot the bill for this? I mean, what is the reason why someone's not acting if they know that all life on Earth could be fucked?
I have concluded, based on a lifetime of study of this, that they're fully aware of what they're doing. And there is some unknown factor that makes them willing to openly turn this planet into a living hell, which is happening with climate collapse. It's happening with poverty and economic collapse. It's all around the world. But there's some other factor because they know what they're doing.
You suspect something other than greed?
Greed or selfishness or fear. Greed, I think, is not fear. Is probably a better word. They're afraid of losing something that they have, and when I look at this problem, what I see is they're going to lose everything anyway. So what could they possibly lose that would be more important than losing this planet or whatever? There's an unknown there. And I think that that has something to do with the spiritual side of what I see clearly happening. And I'm just a detective here. But I have to report my experiences from both sides of that journey because I've had them on both sides.
So what do we do now? We wait for it to fall apart and plant tomatoes and shit?
No. We all approach this in our own way because we all approach this inside.
If Fukushima does go, like, is there? I mean, there's nothing we can do.
No,
it is what it is.
No, and reactor 2 still might go. And if any one of those reactors fails catastrophically, then all 6 reactors are doomed.
There's 6 of them there.
Yeah, two are in cold shutdown, but they're still vulnerable. But 4 will definitely go, and it's
just amazing that they've had nuclear power plants for so long, but they haven't invented a giant cap they can just fucking throw over it.
Well, the Russians tried to entomb Chernobyl, and part of that entombment has failed. But they moved to do that within days of the event. Now it's been a year. So, and it's too late, and it probably wouldn't have worked anyway because clearly the cores had been breached early on. So
they literally have to invent a new technology in order to deal with it, and there's no like front runner contender, nothing on the horizon in the recent future where they're going to be able to fix that.
Well, here's the ultimate Homer Simpson moment. Okay. There are 450 reactors in the world that we have to shut down safely before we no longer have the ability to shut them down because they're expensive and there's no money left and everything is collapsing.
Well, and when you say you have to shut them down, they can't really shut them down. They need to keep electricity running to them to cool off the core, right? I mean, don't they always have to have some sort of electricity? They don't ever really completely shut down.
No. Yes. We had a great...
Is that the case? Am I making this up?
Yeah, no, not at all. The storage of nuclear waste. We had a great film. It escapes me on CollapseNet, but in Finland, there's this amazing film about the vault that they're building, and it breaks your heart. It makes you so aware. And the Finnish government and Finnish people are just, but it's like the steps that you have to go to safely entomb this stuff for 40,000 years, especially when you think that the oldest structure we know of, according to science, the official science, is the pyramids, like 5,000, 6,000 years old. How do we design something to last for 40,000 years when we don't know of anything that has?
Yeah, it would have to be stone. Right? I mean, it would have to be something along those lines.
Well, that's the common sense moment about nuclear. I mean, it's like San Onofre is failing. All the old reactors, the Mark I, they're all getting old. They're all getting vulnerable. They're all going to need to be shut down. They're not going to be building anymore. Too expensive now. And, they make noise, but it's not going to happen. But the idea is we got to shut these things down now or we're all going to be dead. Forget having electricity.
The point, we were talking about this the other day, and the point that I had brought up was that they haven't even been around for 100 years, and there's been 3 giant disasters where there's areas where you can't go anywhere near. That's just 3 in 100 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good record. 1 in 100 years is not good. But to have 3 areas...
And no-go is no-go forever in our terms. I
Yeah.
mean, 30,000 years for, I think for cesium.
Is that what it is? 30,000 years?
It depends upon the half-life. But,
deadly?
But forever.
Yeah, that's not good. That's amazing. Essentially, as long as there's been any form of civilization. I mean, if you really stop and think about it, 30,000 years ago, there was probably some tribes of people with...
That's all it was.
Pointed sticks and shit. And
our ancestors, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I wouldn't put them down. They actually knew how to get along in this world without destroying it.
Well, yeah.
And it took care of them.
That's because they didn't have the internet yet. It's good and bad. It's a change and a destroyer.